The amateur game has always been a big part in our lives. It's always the topic of our conversations and it's constantly on our minds on a daily basis.
Although it's not at a professional level, the amateur game is a working class sport at a working class level. Players put their bodies on the line, lives on hold, and have worked their socks off to be the best they can be from the top to the bottom of the amateur game.
We live and breathe football, and the amateur game has given us our best years in football. Both of us have come to the end of our playing days and want to sit and speak to the legends of the game, legends in their world, to sit and listen about the careers and stories of the game we love.
Welcome to our podcast.
3 points, please. So this week we've probably one of the nicest guys you meet in football, unless you're against him on the pitch. He's took a different route to a lot of lads that we've had on. He went into coaching. He's actually coaching a club now, the whole club from top to bottom. So this week we have Stephen Costello.
Welcome Steve.
Thanks, lads. Thanks for having me.
So Steve, you're Kevin's man. Mainly, haven't you been? Yeah. Yes. Not quite a one club man, but nearly.
Oh yeah. If you think all in all, it's been 30 years, give or take 1 or 2 years, 3 or 4 years here or there. Yeah.
What's the role now you're doing down there?
Yeah, my role has changed somewhat in the club. Over the past few months, I did come in. I think it was February 2021, and my job was to oversee everything as head coach, from under 8s all the way up to and including seniors. So. 43 teams, I think, overseeing all that. Tough job, challenging job, very rewarding job, I have to say. I'd no real experience coming in with youth development. I never coached a soccer schoolboy team. I'd done a little bit with Aaron's Oil with my own young fella's team when he was a little bit younger. That was the only really experience I had with coaching young lads. But then, you don't need good people around you. You need good people around, and I had that. Carl Lamb, Ken Donoghue, and others around that helped me. And obviously, then the coaches, I'd learn more from them than they would probably ever would from me. So, from that point of view, as I said, it was challenging, or it is challenging. My role now has changed somewhat. It just got so challenging that we got a technical director in. There's a director of football, Ken Donoghue, technical director is Alan Caffrey, and initially we had just a head of small sided games and a head coach, and I was the head coach. Head of small sided games was Carl Lamb, brilliant coach. He subsequently left. He's gone League of Ireland out the Pats, and he went around January, and when he left, then it got really challenging for me because I was doing everything
by yourself.
By myself, more or less.
Yeah.
Ken was in the background, and but yeah, I was on the front line, out on the pitch, probably taking 3 or 4 sessions a night, getting to 3 games and 4 games on a Saturday. I always done that anyway, 3 or 4 games on a Saturday, same on a Sunday.
Was this overseeing games, or would you be?
I probably got involved in them as well. Yeah, really? You'll probably now when you sit back and reflect, I probably got involved too much at times. I didn't have to, but I just felt. That was my responsibility to do that. Yeah. And when you're in a club like Kevin's, it can be very pressurised environment because of the demand there. Because usually in a job in football, when you come into a job in football, something needs to be fixed. There was absolutely nothing wrong with Kevin's when I came in. It was probably, and still is, one of the best clubs in Ireland. And, if you are challenging for all Ireland's SFEI's leagues from under 12s all the way to under 18s and seniors as well. So when I came in, then it was a case of just continuing what was there, and that's hard enough. It's you have to put your own stamp on it. Obviously you had big shoes to fill with Alan Caffrey leaving,
but you have to keep it there,
and that's the difficult part. But we didn't want to change anything. I was just in the background, but I did find myself getting too much involved sometimes on the pitch. Probably affected other managers and other coaches who were there alongside me as well. Yeah, that probably they felt looking at me that he's the head coach coming in. I can't really be myself. And when I sit back and reflect on that now, I probably take a little bit more of a back seat now, and I have taken a little bit more of a back seat now. I'll always be at games, but I'd be always more in the background, and I wouldn't be kind of on the front line. But there are times you have to do it. Don't get me wrong, there are times you have to do it, but most of the time it'd be just sitting back, looking at the opposition. And you might see something and you might go over and have a quiet word in the manager's ear. Whereas before I might have just took it upon myself to shout the instruction on. But now I might have a word with the manager, that comes with experience.
Yeah, exactly. That's so. You go in, you didn't know much about the youth development or how things ran.
Yeah.
You probably you knew obviously about Kevin's, you've been there yourself, and the pedigree that I had, but coming from a competitive person that you are, playing at a high level, that's just going to come natural to you from till you learn.
Yeah.
That there's a structure to doing it,
Absolutely, yeah. And when you come into these sort of jobs, it's you're always conscious of what people think. You're always conscious of what the outside people, Kevin's are doing well, this fella's gone in. And I knew the perception out there was like, why is he gone in? Like, why him?
You're in the forward line straight away.
Oh, 100%. And I get that. Like, that was the first piece of advice that I got. Like, you're going to be the C-U-N-T here. Not A-U-C-U-N-T, but D.
Yeah.
You're going to be the fella people are going to point the finger at. And you get used to it. I don't mind that. But I probably put more pressure on myself, and from that kind of winning perspective of winning all Irelands, being competitive at every sort of age group all the way through. We did it, we stayed there, we did it, and we're still there. So we're probably the only club, certainly in Dublin and anyway, who has a premier team or a team playing at the highest level from under 8s all the way to including under 18s.
Very good.
I don't think there's too many clubs that are like that.
You went back to college though over the last few years, have you?
No.
Did you not go back to college?
You done a sport? Did you do a sports?
I've done I've done the sports psychology. That was only the kind of, that was during COVID, when everybody was on Zoom and everybody was doing everything. I got more out of that. That was an eye opener for me, because it just resonated with me hugely. I wasn't in the role I'm in. I was still kind of first team manager at Kevin's at that time, I think. Yeah, I would have been. And it was a case of, I know the guy called James Claffey, who I would have done my A licence with, was doing, he got in touch and said, look, everybody's not doing anything now, people want to start doing things. I'm going to put an online diploma in sports psychology. He's a top of the range sports psychologist, highly regarded in the country and outside the country as well. And he's in with the international teams now, things with Jay Donoghue with the 15s. So he said he's going to do it, and he'd done I think it was an 8 to 10 week course, diploma, and just all around of kind of motivation, confidence, mental skill training, all those bits and pieces that I would have thought about, but wouldn't know how to put it into practice. And I've taken it with me, and I still take it with me to this day of not just myself, but how to control emotions, how to control nerves, how to pre-game breathing techniques, all that sort of stuff, meditation. Now, I wouldn't be big on meditation myself, but
must be an intense course, as if it's only.
It is, yeah. It would have been, yeah. It was very enjoyable.
Especially going through COVID, where the mental health sort of things would have came into a lot of people, so you were dealing with that. Obviously, then the news and stuff like that. So
yeah, it was, but it stood to me then when I took the role on at Kevin's. I took the role on, and when you're dealing with, you're dealing with adolescents, you're dealing with puberty, you're dealing with lads in their teenage years who are, whether it's going from schoolboy football into League of Ireland, whether it's, just hitting adolescents and the problems, domestic problems, and people taking, the football really seriously, want to become a professional footballer. It's not quite happening for them. They might get an injury, they might do different things, different things might affect their performance, and it's how they kind of process that, how they kind of manage that. And just giving them little hints and tips. Now, don't get me wrong, and I always say I'm not a sports psychologist by any stretch of the imagination, but I would like to think that I've had a little bit of
dip my toe
in it, and it's standing to me, and I think I'll always take that with me, and it's something that maybe in the future I might dip my toe back into it again. I'm with myself.
The whole foot being it.
Yeah, the whole foot and hand and thing being it,
yeah. Yourself with Kevin's, like, so fitness, the kind of youth teams are all kind of fitness based lads, and then they're kind of working sort of the area of things. Down in Kevin's, they come from all over the Dublin or even the country at the time, so they're dealing with different backgrounds. You're dealing with lads from the inner city, you're dealing with lads from even Greystones or whatever, so it's even having the mix of players, parents, all that in one place.
Yeah,
they say that's a challenge. And listen, I'm not saying it's all bad, but
Yeah.
The-
No,
sure,
it's
not
that's the
inclusive.
enjoyable, because you have people from such diverse backgrounds now, whether it be culturally or where they live, where they're from. We have lads travelling from Athlone, Limerick, Waterford, Longford, at 12, 11, 12
3
years
times a
old.
week.
5 times.
5 times.
You know, some, like, all of our small sort of games are in 5 days a week. They train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, play Saturday and play Sunday. And it's a huge commitment for the parents who might have other siblings, who might have other kids who are committed to other activities within it. So it's huge. So and then we do have, thing about Kevin's is it's in an area where Shannon Road is at the minute. It's in an area that, you know, Whitehall, Santry, Larkhill, it's probably grown. You know, there's not too many new developments around it. There's no room for new developments, where, you know, you have Charlestown here, you have, you know, even Tyrrellstown, you know, all the surrounding areas here. There's a good catchment area. And if you go out to North Dublin, even, you'd have Balbriggan, Donabay, just loads of new developments going around there. So our kind of catchment, until there's a new generation of kids coming through,
Would be an older
you
area.
see that now.
Yeah,
It is, yeah,
yeah.
it is. But you see now, like anywhere, there's new generations of people coming in, you know, so they'll have kids and they start going to school, and then we're starting to see that.
Planting a tree though, isn't it? You have to wait for it to grow, wait for the kids to hit the certain age.
Yes, but
Boys
the
can-
attraction of Kevin's is it does attract people from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it was before my time, but as far as I know, a chap used to travel from Kerry, fly up and down twice a week and play. You know, it's crazy, but that's what they do, and that's we have to provide that environment for them to be able to thrive, and we have done that with the facilities and the people that are working there, and not working but volunteering that time.
Yeah, we had a lad coming up from things south and he's scrambler every week. Him in the back of his dad, right?
You do, you see them come down their scooters now, and someone, you know, they flying in their scooters, but look, it's all part and parcel of it, and that's where the diversity comes in. It's,
Yeah.
you have lads from Finglas, you have lads from Ballybun, and then you have lads coming from Malahide, Donabay, Blackrock,
Yeah.
Greystones, you know, and to see them mixed together, it's great. And at the end of the day, they're all kids, so they're all going to mix.
But they formed the club, so
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So do you feel the pressure off now? They are stepping back into the senior management.
Yeah. It's
Are you gone in as manager?
I mean, as manager, not initially. My role was to go in and kind of oversee the 17s, 18s, and the senior section. Just circumstances arose that the manager stepped away. That became available, and it was 3 days before pre-season was meant to start. So we're probably still playing catch up a little bit. So I said, look, I'll go in on the interim basis, and anyway, I'm still there. I'm enjoying it. I have to say, I'm enjoying it. I do miss the development end of it, of the coaching the younger kids. Miss being on the grass with them. Don't miss other things that come with it, I have to be honest. But yeah, the different challenges when you go into senior football, as you know yourself.
you
lads,
just have bigger kids. That's all you have now.
Exactly. Yeah. Less mature kids. Less mature kids. But now it's the different challenges, but the footballing challenges. You know, a lot of stuff with the younger, you know, with the League of Ireland and everything that comes with it now. It's that can be very, very time consuming.
Do you think you have such a, as you said, Premier teams all of you up, or the teams playing at the highest level all of you up? Then you get your kind of senior teams. They're all the kind of better players. That not saying that, but as you
So
said, they're gone to the League of
yeah.
Ireland, and then it kind of you're
Especially in years
Suppose
gone by,
that-
even pre-Brexit, if you like, before the lads could go and the League of Ireland came in, we would have lost all of our best players, and we still do to an extent, but we lose them probably earlier now. We used to lose them at 16.
League of Ireland level.
lose them at the end of under 13. But
Preferably don't get them back if they succeed. And
yeah, but there's, as you know yourself, the chance of succeeding is very minimal, even in League of Ireland. It is difficult, and they do come back, and Kevin's would be the first port of call for most players, whether they previously played with Kevin's or not. We would have a lot of lads coming in, even now coming up to Christmas time, transfer window of Christmas, League of Ireland is finished, there'll be a lot of lads let go, or want to come back into school by not enjoying the League of Ireland experience, and want to come back. We would usually be our first port of call. But at the 17s and 18s, on years gone by, we only won our first FEO Youth Cup there 2 years ago. we'd never won that, and it was the only one that we'd never won.
Was that
That
18s?
That was under 18s, yeah. And that was simply because was certainly a huge factor was that we would have lost all of our best players at 16 to England, and 17s and 18s, there was a drop off there. And going into the senior section had an effect on that. So what appealed to me with this role is that I can go into the 17s and 18s and build that up, as some good players still starting to come back into us now, and make the senior section sustainable, viable, and hopefully successful over the next number of years, if not months. So it's a long term kind of thing with it, because with the league, even with the third tier League of Ireland being thrown about now, there's a lot of clubs obviously gonna be apply for that. I feel we're in the position to, hopefully in the next 3-4, and it is a long term vision, hopefully to be in a position to at least have the choice to go in.
Right.
Not to want to go in. We'll have to see how that goes with the resources and facilities and stuff like that, and all that. Financially, more importantly. But
looking at it, at least 100 grand to run that for the year, was it?
You're talking at least that's only a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
Only a drop in the ocean for it, yeah. So even an academy, that's what you'd be looking at for to run an academy.
Seriously, yeah. But any of us you subsidised from the FEI, or they know money as it is.
Well, yeah. Well, it's starting to look. It's been difficult. It's starting to obviously the conversation starting to happen now in regards of investment coming into the League of Ireland academies. It happened this year, and hopefully that's only the start of it, because it needs it.
Yeah, there's a few quid going into from. You had to prove to you that your academy had structure or
so it's going to be categorised. So over the next 2 or 3 years they start categorising them. Now my kind of personal opinion on it is that clubs, grassroots schoolboy clubs, there's a block on them not being able to go in League of Ireland. We applied for it, we were refused. Going back to 2015, 2016, we were refused it on the basis that obviously we don't have a first team in League of Ireland. But if they're going to be talking about a pyramid system within the country, I can't see any reason why a Joey's, a Kevin's, a Home Farm, a Belvedere, Fignish United, if they got to a level where they meet all the criteria, why can't they apply? There's 25, 26, and the 26 being Peamount, which is a girls' academy. There's 25 academies in the whole of Ireland, and there's 20 League of Ireland. There's 10 teams in each division, So you have there's a lot of academies there, and it's probably the quality is probably being spread too thin around, and this kind of rat race for the best players, if you like, every year, and that continues on throughout the age groups as well.
There's kind of a lot of kind of mess going on as well. I think where one club will take all the players the last kind of week or two, or last couple of days, and then turn that squad down and that player then. So no one else could have him,
from the League of Ireland
point of view, yeah. And then it's that player's then struggling to get a club, or someone else already has a squad set up and that.
Yeah. So that's why that was a big kind of bugbear with me. We've no problem. We as I said, we lose our kind of under 30 and the whole lot of it, the majority of it, year on year now. So at the start of under 14s, we had to build a whole new team there and try and keep them sustainable in Premier football. It's the only show in town, really. That's the thing with the League of Ireland. There's no other option for these kids. It's what they want to do. It's the only thing they can do for now, is to go into League of Ireland. My thing is that I just mentioned the contact time. Some of the contact time within the League of Ireland clubs wouldn't match up to a Kevin's. So that the contact time is actually dropping.
Because you're doing 3 days a week, and the match, probably 2 matches a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and you're only doing Tuesday, Thursday, and probably match.
Possibly, yes. So they're getting less. So
development stalls, then
I just like for a conversation to be had for if a schoolboy club, or once they meet the demands of what's needed, why couldn't they at least have the option to go League of Ireland and create that pyramid system? Have a Kevin's maybe I'm talking about Shamrock Rovers and Shelbourne, but they're already in the schoolboy system, and that's where the contradiction is that you do have Shamrock Rovers and Shelbourne starting off from under 8s, under 9s, 10s, and building their academy, and Bows are starting to do it now. But we can't bring teams into League of Ireland from under 13, 14s up. And that's a little bit of a contradiction in my opinion. And
the conversation has to be had.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And look, it is difficult. And we're probably only at the start of it here within the country of growing the academy system. We're still really in its infancy. And look, we're probably at amateur status. The whole country it's building. Obviously, the 10 first Premier Division League of Ireland clubs, they're all full time. Hopefully that'll build into the first division, and then it can start filtering down into the academies then, and have huge contact time with them, facilities, and so hopefully that'll start to improve over the next, and it'll take time, there's no doubt about it, it'll take time.
So we'll go back to when you were in the academy.
I was actually in Wefton, believe it or not. That's where it started.
You started off
started off there, my dad actually he spent a lot of years in Wefton. He brought 2 teams from under 10s, 11s all the way up to under 18s, and then he would have started again. Some good players as well. He would have coached the likes of Mixer Pike and Francie. I don't know what Francie McKenna. Francie might have been a little bit older. Pudgy Keenan, he would have. Liam McGrain, Sam Kavanagh, all those boys would have been all came up through together, And I used to go when I was younger, 5 or 6 years of age, and I started playing then. They used to have a road leagues up there, threw me into road leagues. Then it continued, and there was no kind of small sided games then.
It was all 11 sided?
Yeah, all 11 sided. And I started under 10. There was no 7, 8 or 9. I started under 10, so I was playing under 10s football when I was 6. Played 6, 7, 8 minutes. Yeah. But,
did he go to the manager, did he?
No, my dad. No. Foxy. Foxy was there, and his brother. Was it his brother? No. A guy called Gitsy Gorman, Paul Priseman. Them two were there, yeah. Very kind of vague memories of it now, but just remember being up in Kildone and even when my dad was playing, following my dad around, and some characters he had playing for him as well. He would have. There's a guy called Eddie Christie who would be Gar Christie's granddad, Omar Christie's dad. He was in there with that. Another guy called Pat Doody, kind of looked after the whole kind of schoolboy section. Foxy obviously came into it then. He still had Willie Moore in the seniors then. I don't know who else was in the seniors. So it's still names that you'd be familiar with now. Was back, like 40 years ago.
Who was on your team then? What lads was on your team?
Phil Dunny was actually on it. I can't fucking remember lads. Phil Dunny, Kevin Fitzgerald in goal, Mark Murphy from Kildone as well. Did someone tell me he's a policeman in New York now or something like that? But very, very vague memories of that. Then from there I went down to Talbot Rovers and under 10s, under 11s. The postman worked with my dad, Jimmy Bourne. Do you know Jimmy Bourne? No. The Talca Rovers. I was with him for years. He got me down to Talca, played Talca again. It was kind of Division B as it was back then. So you had A, B, C's, and E's with Division B as it was back then. Under 11s, 12s, 13s, and 14s. And then under 15s, I went to Kevin's. So I played schoolboy 15.
So your schoolboy went exactly the way your senior career.
More or less, yeah. More or less, yeah. It's crazy. Full circle, yeah. Full circle. So, went to Kevin's under 15s, played under 15s, 16s, 17s, and went to UCD then at the end of under 17, yeah.
Successful in schoolboy?
I was successful enough when I went to Kevin's. First year we got to an All-Ireland final, lost to Crumlin, scored in that. Got him on the match in the semi-final, beaten in the finals down Richmond Road actually on the grass. It was a great game, good Crumlin side back then.
Who was on the teams there? Who was on your team? Who was on Crumlin's team there?
Ian Hart was on our team. Aidan Lynch. They probably the two standouts. Aidan and myself went to UCD. Obviously Ian went to Leeds. We went to West Ham. Didn't happen there. Ended up in Leeds with his uncle. Gary Kelly was his uncle, so he went there. Obviously ended up having a great career there, and just trying to remember now. It's kind of difficult. It's still in the WhatsApp group actually. A WhatsApp group actually got up and going there, as people do. They something happened. I think it was a charity game or something. And Stella Maris used to have a really good team at that time as well. And a couple of lads got together, created again. No, we didn't play in it for whatever it was. Probably Kevin's game or But I did,
Other
did
things
play. I
were
didn't play. No, I wasn't available that day. But they all got together. Davy Kane actually was on my schoolboy team. Yeah. They got together, sort of created a WhatsApp group. So that even now sporadically there'd be text thrown in of a picture or a memory or something like that. You know, so it's good. I don't kind of engage in it much, but it's always good. And even the manager Gary Malone, who we had at under 17, I think, is on it as well. So yeah, it's good even after all these years. Yeah.
Any trials come up for yourself?
No, I'll probably tell you one in a minute, but that was later on. But schoolboys now, again, I don't know what it is, but you always hear these rumours of, you know, he's interested, they want to take you away. That was always constantly happening. And Ireland international trials come up, you'd go for an Ireland game and never capped our schoolboy level. But yeah, you'd always hear of people being interested. And there's a guy called Shane Noonan, who was part of Kevin's, who was the West Ham scout, and he would have took Dave Gallagher, who would have been the goalkeeper at the time. He took him over with Ian Hart at the time. Didn't work out for them, but again, I was actually meant to go to Man City, and I forget the scout's name, but just so happened that about 2 days before that something happened within Man City, that the first team manager was let go and the whole kind of structure was changed. So that was kind of...
That happened a lot years ago, didn't it? When you heard about a few people being on trials and talks were going on, meant to sign, didn't happen. Remember Stephen Gagan telling me a story that he went over to Charlton actually from Shelbourne, and whoever the manager was before Alan Corbishley, I think he had said he was like
really
contract ready to go, and whoever he got the chop, and Alan Corbishley came in, and then there was just no interest then again ever again.
Yeah.
That was,
and you hear a lot of them stories, don't you? Especially going back 30 years now, over 30 years now, you know. Yeah. So it's just kind of, you need that bit of luck. You need something to happen for you, being at the right place at the right time, someone to see it, and everything else happens after that. But yeah, I never got the opportunity to go away. I got the opportunity to go away, but I never played, unfortunately. But yeah, so under 17, then we won the Leinster Youths. Runners up the league, I think twice, 15s, 16s or 16s and 17s. Won the Leinster Youths. Scored in the final 1-0. From there then obviously went to UCD, got a scholarship in UCD, myself and Aidan Lynch, and at the time Kevin's had a real good relationship with UCD. A guy called Frank Loftus were in the club, had a good relationship with Dr. Tony O'Neill, who was UCD legend obviously. And he would have, every year he had trials for scholarships. He would have took 2 or 3, 4 lads on trials, and that particular year myself and Aidan got on it. The year before, or probably 2 years before, Jay Sherlock, Andy Moyler and Tony McDonald, they were in the first team then when we got there. I was certainly bordering on it. So yeah, I went there, and then a couple of years there, done well. I was doing well. My knee went. That's when my knee went. It wasn't actually in. I was in Cyprus when it happened. Actually,
how would you do that?
Playing a game of ball in Cyprus.
Yeah.
A couple of locals.
Holiday,
We just got on holiday, family holiday. Yeah, and just got talking to a couple of Cyprian lads who were over there having a game of ball. Do you want to join in, kind of, you know? So myself and whoever you were with there jumped in, and yeah, it was a bacon hot day. I remember it was a bacon hot day. I was 17, and 17, 18, bacon hot day, and you know, you're coming up against good players as well. They were, so it was competitive enough. Yeah. So I just remember just running with the ball, and went to stop, and went to turn, and I thought someone came across me with this fucking sledgehammer. You know, he just buckled under me, and so that was that. Was laid up then for the rest of the holiday.
Did you know what you'd done? Like,
not really. No,
it was just
a twisted knee. It was just a twisted knee, sprained knee, as you say back then. You have to remember, lads, it was 30 years ago as well. More, 30 years ago, yeah. So when I came back then, but previous to that, and this is where I'll bring us back to now, not too many people know this actually, but when I was with UCD my first year, I was doing quite well, made my first team debut. I got a couple of runs out with the first team, and it was reserve league back then. I was playing centre forward or wide left, top scorer in the reserve league, doing well, and towards the end of the season, a guy approached me who used the term loosely an agent. He said he was an agent, and would you like to have a chat about going away? It's obviously a 17-year-old. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, you have to remember then there was no kind of support back then. You know, so you're on your own. You know, the club, I thought knew about it. They didn't. So I actually met him in the Village Inn in the Jolly Toper on a Monday night, and we were sitting down, and I think the Monday Club were over in the corner with four.
All the Wefter lads.
All the Wefter lads, yeah. They're looking over, who's he talking to? So, yeah, it was... so he was saying, what would you like to do? I said, obviously I'd like to go to England and be the best I can be. And he said, all right. So I have these contacts, that contact. So he organised a trial. He organised a trial in Stoke. So he said he picked me up one morning, about 6 o'clock in the morning, got the boat over, right? He drove his car, me and two other lads who you might know, I'm not going to mention, but you might know them. Not from Finglas now. Got the boat over.
Why is this such a big secret?
Maybe they don't want to know.
Right. They don't want.
Because I don't know whether their club knew at the time that they're going
okay.
away. Not that it fucking matters now, anyways. But excuse me. Yeah, so we got there and anyway, and got up to Stoke, ready to play. Got in the dressing room. I was called out of the dressing room, and he said UCD never gave me permission to play.
They contacted the club, obviously, and you didn't have a clue.
Stoke, yeah, and your man obviously acting dumb. We'll sort that. Don't worry about that. So game went ahead. Two lads played. I was sitting in the stand.
No way.
Yeah, so,
that's as close you can taste it.
Yeah. So the lads done quite well, I have to say. Now Stoke were great. He said, "Look, we'll try to get you back over again." All that sort of stuff. Grant, nothing ever came from it. About 2 weeks later, I went to Cyprus. I came back from that. Went to Cyprus.
Jesus, yeah.
That's when I done my name. So I had to have a meeting with Tony O'Neill, the doc, and I had to explain to him why I went to Stoke. And I walked in on crutches, and he said, "What happened to you?" I said, "I was in." Now I don't know whether he believed me or not. Told him what happened. He said, "Right, okay." And again, the doc being the doc, and as it was back then, if you were injured, that was it. He didn't want to know, and that was the kind of culture back then. You know, it was that's the way it was. So it was up to yourself to get yourself right. So went to the hospital, got a scan, got an X-ray, all that sort of stuff. Got my leg drained. My leg was still like a balloon. Got it drained. Came back and done a little bit of rehab on it. And look, at that stage, nobody knew what rehab was. Like, you got on the weights and you start pumping weights and you start jogging. And if you could run, and you ran. Got back on the pitch, but kept going. It kept going. My knee kept buckling. So went to a consultant, and he said, "Look, it's not gone. The cruciate's not gone. You can work at it and build it up, and you might get away with it." So I said, "Grand, okay, I'll do that." Walked away with it, and now and again it'd go, but it was a lot stronger. So it wasn't until I came, obviously I went, so UCD didn't get back in touch with me, so that kind of ship had kind of sailed. Then Willie Morgan touched me about coming up to Wefter.
Were you on a contract with UCD? Or it just been rolled on over?
Yeah. So Willie Morgan contacted me about coming up, and while I ended up starting at the post office, and I was working in the SDS on the Nace Road, the parcel office out there. And Willie used to come out and pick me up to bring me to games. I wasn't driving at the time. He used to come out and pick me up, and whether it be away game or home game, he used to bring me back. And because I'd be working evening shifts or kind of 2 to 10s or whatever, you know. And as it was in the post office back then, they would let you off, kind of, you know. So yeah, he'd end up picking me up, and ended up playing with Wefter then. And obviously, you know, the team that we had back then, it was quality. But my knee still wasn't right. I was wearing a strap.
What was you being back then, Steve?
18, 19, about 19.
Wearing the strap,
yeah, 19, 20, yeah. But it just kept on going. I'd get in the run of it, and it'll buckle again, and
just out for a few weeks, back at it.
Yeah, I'll probably even get a couple of months, possibly even a season out of it, you know. But it was never right. And it was just, I always had that thing in the back of my mind, what the consultant said of there's a good chance it might go. Yeah. It's hanging on by a thread, kind of, you know. So it wasn't until I went to Kevin's that I actually went. I actually got one season in on Kevin's when I went there first, flying. Started the next season, and I was an FEI junior.
Dermot Wilkins manager then?
Yeah, Dermot would have been manager then, yeah. So I was playing an FEI junior game out in Temple Oak, never forget it. And I went to take a shot with my right foot. I had to plant my left foot, and I'm left footed, obviously. And I had to plant my left foot, went to strike and the whole thing was wet, and I knew the pain was different. It was different.
You know, don't you? When you do it, you're like, oh, that's it.
So
it's done.
It was like horse kicking you. Like you
Stop.
So went to the hospital, got the scan. It was done. So obviously there was no. I don't think I had medical insurance around back then. Like, so you had to wait a while. So that was the year that we got to the FU Junior Cup final against Ballymore. So
And you were out.
I was out for that. Yeah. Part of it, and that's one thing that I always did, even when I was out injured, and probably lads don't do enough of now, is be around the place. You know, come to training every now and again, even if it's to show face. But certainly come to games and be part of the dressing room and stuff. And I always was. So you did. You felt part of it. It wasn't the same, of course, but not because you weren't playing. But so I had the operation. That was around June, July. I had done it in September, but didn't get the operation. It was probably around March, I'd say. March or April. So I had the operation then. And and I remember I got a scan after it, and because the knee had gone so many times, the consultant was saying, I don't know about you. You might want to think about your kind of activities now and how much you do, because a lot of damage there already, and you're a postman, and you will end up having arthritis, all that sort of stuff. So, but nothing was ever going to stop me coming back. It was never going to stop. So, got back in anyway, but it was never the same.
Operation,
full reconstruction. Yeah.
ACL.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. No, not that.
Just
one,
the ACL.
Just the ACL. That's
So what you said, that's nearly, well, probably less than 30 years ago. Didn't that happen there? So back then, surgery.
it was full open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was full. Still have the scar. Yeah.
So like, it's not no keyhole, but I know they still cut you down now, but it's not as clean as the
No, you had
as it is now.
about 30 staples going down from the top of my shin up to the
Year out.
knee, yeah.
More.
Nearly a year out, yeah.
And then plus
yeah.
the 6 then that you're waiting for the operation. So
Yeah, so you're nearly 18 months out, yeah.
And then rehab, then you said not many people knew anything about the rehab, so it's all kind of new to you as well.
It's all kind of new. It's left to yourself. So I remember I was actually saving for a house, and I was working nights, and I'd leave work, go to gym, swim pool, go home, go to bed, get up, go to gym again, go to work and get up the next morning, or after work the next morning. So that was constant. So I done about a year. Like, got back to a decent level, worked hard, but you're on your own again. You're at the gym on your own. It's lonely, and it can be lonely, and that's the good thing about football now. I'd like to think the support mechanisms for lads, and I know a couple of lads who have done that crucially recently as well, and you'd always kind of support them, even if it is just a text or a phone call or whatever, because it does go a long way, because there is a lonely road back from a long injury like that,
Especially if it's like a job every day, as you said. Like, it's continuous, and you miss 1 or 2 days, you're like, sure, I'll just give that another miss for another couple of days, and then before you know it, you're not.
And then when you're thinking about getting married and buying a house and all that, so real life kicks in then.
Yeah.
So you have to start thinking about that then. But I was always determined that I was always going to get back. But when you do get back, it's kind of, my knee was never the same, because my rehab wasn't what it is now. Kind of, you hadn't got someone overseeing it, you hadn't got someone kind of monitoring it.
There's
if you
a lot
like,
more history with everything now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like the
Flexibility of band walk and stuff like that.
There was nothing
alone,
like that.
yeah.
Like, it was just weights, just get stronger, just get your toys stronger.
So I always remember that video of Roy Keane with the seatbelt on.
Yeah,
And they're doing the defeat. Yeah.
I was around that time, so yeah, it was probably before that actually.
Yeah.
He would have done it. So
it's mad to think, even at the highest level, it was still barbaric back then. If you look at it, seatbelt on him, just so it just keeps him in. Like.
Yeah, but so it was never the same. So you have to adapt your game a little bit on how you strike a ball. I'd never plant my foot, because that's how I done it. Yeah. So when I strike a ball, I wouldn't come down on my same leg that I'd struck with.
Just stop shooting with your eyes, Stephen.
So
dude, shoot with your eye.
He has a tongue sticking out of the side of his mouth.
So but look, it was never the same. But you adapt, you kind of figure out how to move. And
so, like, how old are you when you actually get back then?
I was 22, 23.
So you're at the like having a good chunk of probably 4 years there. Probably what did you do when you did 7 days of not being 100% and not being like physically able for a full season or capable for it.
So you used to be known around fingers, but that's the fella on crutches. So maybe when my wife, you go out with that fella on crutches, don't you?
Let's gosh, we didn't know. I'd obviously
Even in the village,
seen you
yeah,
a lot,
go to
like-
the point of the village, yeah, or whatever, go up the stairs. Chrissy Spy used to have to bring me up the stairs
Oi.
and
No, I'll make your own way down. Look again if you stand.
slide down the banisters. Yeah.
You used to have a lift.
But yeah, look, it was good 4 or 5 years. It was a good chunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's what
Must have been very frustrating few years, isn't it?
extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, extremely. Yeah. But you'd look. Probably at that time you didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
You just
You'd
wanted
you'd
to play.
nothing to, yeah, you
Cover
just wanted
play,
to play. I
cover
think
play.
it was probably Paul Gascoigne at that time was probably the first fella I heard doing a cruise ship. You know, then that was a couple of years before him maybe. He obviously in an FA Cup final, and that was huge. And but it was a career ending thing. Yeah,
Yeah, back then.
it was a career, especially at amateur level. You know, very rarely would you get back at a high level with it.
So do you think the little bit of pace went or the agility went? And
No, but turning and how I turned.
Right.
It did, and it probably wouldn't be noticeable to the naked look, but I would have to adapt, and maybe that's why I'm having trouble with my hips now.
Overcompensating,
You
yeah.
have to overcompensate with it.
Yeah.
And that's the only really bad. I never kind of ruptured anything. I never had hamstring kind of trouble towards the end, but that's only natural at an age that it was. But it was the only real injury I ever had. Everything else was fine. But you'd have to adapt to how you run, and you wouldn't put too much weight on if you're running at an angle. You wouldn't put too much weight on your left leg, on the outside, because that's what
also
You know what way it's going to go.
yeah. Because if you put a whole lot of weight on that on the outside, you'll be afraid it'll go. You know.
So how did things kick on with Kevin's then when you came back? You just
so
slot back in there, or did you?
yeah, I did. There was a lot of changes. So when I went to Kevin's first, there was a quality side there. They were really up there winning everything. And the FAI Juniors still to this day is the only cup they haven't won. So they were winning leagues after leagues, and you know they were the team to beat. So I went down there and Anton Wilkins, John Ryan, Phil Long, Austin Hannon and goal, Chris Carroll and Dougie Dolan. Really, really good side. Des Cummins up top. But that kind of filtered out as after about a year or two of me being there.
You would have been probably one of the youngest, would you?
I was the youngest, yeah. Decky O'Hara was there, and he would have been young as well. So a lot of them started filtering out. A lot of them went to Pomarnock with Barry Flynn. They created a good side there. So again, I got back. It was kind of starting into a rebuild job. I think Derm had gone as well. And Michael came in, and Michael would have been manager there. Even going back further, 10 years previous to that. Again, kind of when Pat Daly was there as well, kind of late 80s into the 90s and all the way through the 90s. So, when I came in, that was around 2002, 2003, when I got fit again, and there was a lot of young lads coming through. And it was a rebuild job, and suddenly you find yourself a senior player, you know, without doing much, you know, and that's how quick it can happen. And that's why I tell lads now, you know, that's how quick it happens.
Yourself and Stan probably would have been just near enough two senior players there, wouldn't you, compared to like, the rest of the lads?
Yeah. Now I think Stan had gone at that stage. Stan went to Pomarnock.
He went to Pomarnock.
Stan went to Pomarnock,
didn't he? And came back,
Then he came back, you know, Dougie Dolan went to Pomarnock as well. Kind of Anton Wilkins was kind of coming to the end. He gave her up. Phil Long was there, kind of coming to the end. John Ryan was still there. You know, so there was a few lads, but you're coming down to the twilight end of the career, if you like. And but it was a huge learning playing like Anton. I would have played wide left at the time. Anton Wilkins would have been left back in a 4-4-2. Obviously, that's all everyone played back then.
Yeah.
And even playing with him, you know, it was just such an education. Just talking to these lads and how they talked to you and where they wanted you. They were like managers they were like coaches on the pitch. That's what they did. Even, you know,
not enough of that now, sure, doesn't that? No. In the amateur game, especially.
No, wherever it is, I don't know. But yeah, even the thing of, you know, playing a wide left, you think you have to track back, and you'd be tracking back. And I remember Alto saying to me, you know, I don't want you here.
Yeah,
you want to go up. You go on, because you need to be up there when that ball breaks. When the ball's on the opposite side of the pitch, so it's on our right hand side, if you like. I'd be tracking their winger. He said, no, you leave him, just pass him on. Because I remember telling me, he said, I want you up there. He said, because I know I'm looking after the winger. If you're there, it's a little bit of confusion if the two of us are hit, because I'm to ask myself, is he going to take him, or I know now he's my responsibility. So he's taking responsibility on now. Whereas now it might be a case of you're dragging your winger back, so you can take a step back and have that little cheating moment, like he used to do.
It's from the bench.
But that's experience. Phil Long was the same on the other side. Like, such an education, and you would have liked to play with them for a few years more, just to kind of educate you in that from that end of it. But look, it was good. It was good. Good side, good people. And they were good lads.
Were you tried to be persuaded away by the likes of the Portmarnocks or the Ballymuns or any
Ballymun? I would have been, Talca, Ballymun, Talca, because they knew we were kind of going into a rebuild, and I think I actually met an old Sinnott and Naylor. I don't know whether it was the year that Ballymun won it. I'd only come back from the cruise ship, and no, it was the year after. Because I had played. And he wanted me to go up. I met him in the towers, and
mean, a lot of dodgy people in the pubs, eh?
I know, yeah. But I didn't do it for whatever reason, and that was obviously we wouldn't have known the last Steve Hannon there, and
you would have played in the AOL team with them all as well.
Yeah. But I never done it, never bit the bullet, and I was glad I didn't. So I stayed there, and as I said, I was kind of looked on as the experienced kind of fella. So year on year there, kind of competing, not winning, didn't win a league. I don't think we even won a cup, to be honest with you. But it was always a case of looking at the bigger picture with it, and that these lads are going to come out. But it just got to a stage where I was, after about 7-8 years, I was like, I think I need a change here.
It just didn't happen for them then, sure.
No.
It's just that they're obviously they're probably another rebuild just never kicked on to get back to winning
never kicked on. Whatever happened, you're just missing one or two players possibly, but we just never kicked on. I was made captain probably when I was very young as well, because you're looking at that experience as well, and this is probably where I got the coaching end of it. I wanted to get into coaching, even I'd be asked to take warm-ups and a little bit of a passing activation, or let's do a few sprints with them, or I know he was a player at the time.
I remember warming up with, it could have been with Valley Park. I don't even think it would have been with Wefta, but we might have been warming up inside in Shannon on the Astro.
Yeah, you would have been.
And you were a player.
Yeah.
And you had took the warm up. Yeah, I remember that. But you would have been captain at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I knew. And then, as I said, after about 7 or 8 years, I remember Robbie O'Reilly was always on to me about going into Talca when he went into Talca. And even I went up to Jay Donoghue. I think it was Jay and Stephen Gagan in charge at the time.
Right, yeah, you came.
So I went up, done a session with them, and we just never felt right, but about a year or two later then, Robbie came knocking, so I said, right, maybe it might be the time. So that was 2008. So I went down and done a session with them, and it was an eye-opener. It really was, with the team that was there, the intensity of the training, the quality of the training.
Seen the bar, the pitch, the usual, isn't it?
Yeah. You're actually training DCU. We train in DCU out just at the back of Clare's there. You had to jump over the wall to train. But went in there, done a session, and as I said, the quality was there, and it was kind of, my mind was made up
so
after.
So you felt to get part of the team and not as a kind of senior player, and you're kind of mixing in with the lads a bit more, would you?
In Kevin?
Down Talca. Because down in Kevin, you're saying you're more like the manager taking the session. It
wasn't the manager, but I just felt that
you could have fired.
I wanted to prove. I felt that there was more than me. I always looked to improve. Always, whether I'm playing or coaching, I always looked to get better, and I just felt I was just becoming a little bit stagnant at Kevin's at that time. And I needed a change. And when I went down, I done a couple of sessions with Talca, and
pressured off also as well.
It was a little bit, yeah.
Senior player taking warm-ups and being almost like a coach and manager, like on it.
Yeah, coming into players that, junior international players, intermediate players, and lads of being away. You still had that ambition to get away. You still have that ambition to push on, and you're going into. And at that time, the AUL Premier A was starting to really deteriorate, so I really wanted to change then, and well, maybe that was the early stages of it starting to deteriorate, but there was people starting to leave. So, yeah, went down with Robbie, met Jay, and I knew nearly straight away that, right, they kind of got my juices flowing again, you know, and went down there and, probably thought that I should have done it a little bit earlier, 2 or 3 years earlier.
Were you in your 30s when you went there?
Easily, 32. That was, when was that, 2008? So, 31, 32. Yeah. So, I went down there and really enjoyed it there. It was great. Really, really great it was. Should have won more. Should have won, definitely. They had won the Charlie Cattle the year before. I won the Charlie Cattle the year I got there. I broke my leg in the first year.
That's right, yeah.
Out Mount Marion, broke my leg there. And that kept me out. Yeah. Well, I came back and I played. I came on the Charlie Cup final. Played there. But that kept me out. I think it was around this time of year. It was around November. And it kept me out towards April then. Got back, worked hard, got back again. And I had a good season the following season. Got player of the year the following season, I think. And
were you slotted back to left full then?
I was, I was playing left full since Dermot Wilkins actually slotted me back into left full in 2006 with the Oscar Trainer team. With Kevin's, I never played left back.
You're always left wing.
Yeah,
that's maybe playing left full. Yeah.
Dermot's the one that kind of, that was easy, isn't it? You're right back, you play with your slippers on, kind of, look, the games in front of you, and the way Tolka played was that they were attacking. They just
overlapping all the time.
You just kept on overlapping, you know.
Keehan was very good at that as well. He was. When after he was lethal at doing that overlap. Yeah. He scored probably 15 goals. Yeah.
I had the legs for it. Yeah. You know, I had that stamina to the end. I had that stamina, and it was easy because playing all your career kind of wide left of a 4-4-2, that's a graveyard shift sometimes, you know, when you're just running. But now you're getting into games in front of you and you can go out and join an attack, and you know, you can obviously have to do that little bit of a recovery run, but once the game's in front of you, you're getting a lot of ball. When the game's opened up, you're the spare player, you know.
You can see what runs in there, you know.
Fullbacks are free 90% of the time.
Yeah. Whereas when you're playing as a wide player, you're going to be marked 90% of the time as well. So you can be that spare player. No, but I really enjoyed it. It was the pace of the Leinster Senior League that I really enjoyed, because it was high intensity. The ball was always moving. The Tolka, the way we played then, the way the lads wanted us playing was get the ball down. There was good players there, really good players there. Whether it be Morgan playing out, Barber in the middle, John O'Malley, Ray Wheelhan, you know, Nolly at the back, Macker at the back, you know. Dino top, Marzi, you know, some really good Gav Quinn.
Some Cora players went through Tolka there, didn't they? At them few years that Jay was there and Robbie and that,
great.
All big characters as well, if you think about it. They're not only good, big characters,
huge characters, But yeah, so it was the intensity of the Leinster Senior League and that thing of, if you make a mistake, you're going to be punished. If you get that ball away, chances are it's going to end up in the back of your net.
As you said, you like to keep improving all the time, and that's not that place to be doing it. It's if you make a mistake, you're getting punished. So.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I remember then, like, we knocked on the door. I think Martin Doyle came in the year after them. And from a coaching perspective, the whole thing lifted again. So he was there for a year, probably a year or two, I think. And from a session point of view, the whole thing lifted again. So yeah, it was really enjoyable. But again, you had players leaving. You had the Mount Marians coming in and Crumlin coming in for the likes of Dean, and Barber went to Mount Marian. And so we never really quite hit the peak that we should have. We never really hit the potential that we maybe should have, because Intermediate Cup semi-final against Avondale brought them back to Tolka from
the replay
down
that's
there,
right.
and should have beat them. You know, it was an own goal that done us in the end. But just things like that when you look back on, you're saying to yourself, well, maybe we didn't reach the potential that maybe we should have. But that's football, isn't it?
That's where it goes, isn't it? That's what we love and hate at the same time.
Yeah. It's like a drug. It is. It's an addiction that.
How long did you go for, Steve? What age did you finish up at Tolka?
30. I finished at Tolka, so I think it was 34. I think 30. But when I came to Kevin's then, I ended up playing again.
Did you really? Right.
So I finished. I done my knee. I done a Tommy cartilage in my knee on Bangor, and that was the one that kind of done me in the end. But it was getting to the stage where the knee was flaring up after trying. Never missed training. you know, and you're training in Kevin's school at the back there on the grass, or in McKelvey. When McKelvey opened, then we started to train in McKelvey. But yeah, I found myself kind of after games, pre-game, after game, just taking Nurofen, just to get the swelling down and just to get me through a session, and just to get through that week, kind of, you know, to get you from training to game to training, you know, that recovery, and just got a little bit much. Then I ended up doing my knee out in Bangor. Had an operation on that, and that was when I said, look, I won't be able to play at that level now. So, it was a process.
Hurt you?
Huh?
Did it hurt you?
What?
Like that, the decision is kind of being made.
No, I
I
was probably ready. I was happy that. Look, you're always going to be disappointed that you're not going to be able to play again, but I just always kind of knew that I'm not going to get better. I'm not going to get better now. In regards to playing, I'm not going to improve.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get
improved.
improved. And again, life comes into it as well. And
was the coaching in the mind then, or had you started it? Or
yeah, I had started when I was playing. I'd done it kind of early as it was back then, the kick starts, and I think I'd done my C licence as well when I was on my youth cert as it was back then when I was playing as well. Done that with Paul Martin actually out in Crumlin. While I was still playing, so it was always kind of in the back of my head, because it did kind of cross my mind that what am I going to do in regards to football, you know, because I wanted to stay involved in it, because so long in it, and you do be kind of fearful. I don't know how you feel about it, but not having that in your life was like, well, like, what am I going to do? And it's not only that, but it's the kind of, when I meet you on the street, it's like a social identity, is that people will talk to you about it, and the first question you ask, are you still playing ball? Yeah. It's the first question you ask. And if you have that kind of, and if you answer no, where's the conversation going to go? You know what I mean? That kind of definite silence for about 10 seconds, you just walked off. Yeah. You know, so that kind of feared me a little bit. And then not being around the dressing room and not being around players and the game itself, but the coaching kind of, and maybe because I had such a period of time while I was injured away from it, where I was looking on from the sideline. As I said, I always stayed involved. I always was on the sideline. I could see things, and I probably started to think like a bit of a coach at that time as well. So then when I finished that Talca, I actually went up to Wefta and I met Dara Moore and Pudgy. Dara was, I think, taking over the first team at the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was going up there on the premise that I was going in with the first team, but Dara kind of said that about coming into the Saturday team. So
right, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, that was that kind of that didn't happen, and then
so why wouldn't that developed for the 2 years or you?
I don't know who went with there.
Theo
Hanna came in.
Did he, yeah.
Theo only came in, kind of like when I think Dara. I don't know whether this is full truth, but I don't know when Dara definitely came in first on his own, and then Steele came in kind of to help him out afterwards.
Okay.
Like, so it wasn't. I remember meeting Dara and Pudgy as well myself, because I was going back to Wefta obviously at that time
to play. Yeah.
And and Dara didn't have anybody with him. So like that's the first time I heard of it. Like,
remember now, it was more for Saturday, I think.
Right.
And it just didn't appeal to me. So
I think Philly actually took that job. Did he? The Saturday job, Philly done him.
Philly might have took it then.
Did he at that time? Yeah.
I would think that was an upgrade.
I know that would have been before.
I know Philly was before. Philly was the Saturday man.
Yeah.
Was it? Steve McGilligan was the first.
He took over that. Hickey took it. That wasn't Hickey.
Of the Saturday team?
Yeah.
Don't know.
I think Anto Devlin's brother Tommy. I think Tommy took the Saturday team over that year, and he came in late as well.
Could have
Yeah.
been.
Did he? Yeah. So actually, then Martin Doyle actually approached me, and Jay actually approached, said, would you think about coming in and doing a bit of coaching with Talca's Saturday team? So Reggie George was the manager then with Glenn Humphreys, and said, yeah, that good players there as well, it was a good side. So went in there and started to do a few sessions with them, and then circumstances arose that Martin Doyle had to leave for personal reasons. So Jay asked me to go in with him. So all of a sudden then...
Your first team coach.
Yeah. From playing with lads 3 or 4 months before, now you're coaching them. That was huge. That was another massive learning curve, like, you know, and how to still stay the same, nothing changed, kind of, you know. And again, credit to the lads, they bought in, they knew I was only new to it, they were patient with it, gave me a bit of stick now and again, which is only natural, but like, it was great. Like, your coaching, as you said, I was only kind of starting out at that time, and You have the likes of Crockett, you have Carlo, you're still coaching these players who don't need to be coached really at that level. You just let them
When
go.
they get to a certain stage, yeah.
And that's the thing with senior football, isn't it? Is where to draw the line between coaching and having fun and taking it serious. And they don't want to be coached all the time. Players at that level don't want to be coached all the time, but they need some of it. But it's just creating that environment where they're going to be motivated to come back week on week, session after session, game after game, and that's the secret, I think, of coaching at that level.
Give them a ball, isn't it? And a bit on the board before the game, and I'm happy.
More or less. Now where I am now is that a lot of the lads that I'm coaching now would have been coached all the way up in their skill boys, and they're used to it.
So the good habits.
Good habits, and they want to be coached, they want to get better, they want to learn, and they do buy in to what you're saying most of the time. And anyway, but there does become a time when that they're not at it tonight, or they don't want it tonight, and you'll have to change it. But that's the art of coaching as well, is knowing what they need when they need it.
Yeah, true.
I think the likes of the course and the sports psychology thing that you've done there would probably you'd catch on to some things
unbelievably
quicker.
So yeah, so about creating that environment where they want to come back. Like, people have to feel that they have a say in what's going on. They have to feel valued in what they're doing. If they don't feel valued in what they're doing and don't feel part of what they're doing, well, then it's going to be very hard to keep them there. If you can get that sweet spot of that they have a say in what's going on without running amok on it and having those boundaries, but they have a say in what's going on, they feel valued, and making that, week on week, that they're motivated, that you want to come back in week on week. That's the secret of it. I think that's the secret of it.
Yeah, very good.
Devon has a place in football, though. That's, you just give them that place in football.
Yeah.
Definitely. So then after Tolka?
So I spent a year there. Now, we all know how Jay was treated and how that ended down there with Jay. It wasn't good. I was asked to stay on in Tolka. There was no way I was going to stay on.
As a coach? Or did they ask you to take over?
No, as a coach. Now, again, they did come back again. But Martin Doyle, the first team manager's role came up in Kevin's. And Martin Doyle got it, and he asked me to go in with him. So that was great. Experienced coach like Martin went in, and he would have been probably a little bit of a mentor, if you like, from a coaching point of view.
They were still Premier A at the time.
They were still Premier A at the time, yeah. So Martin went 2.5 years, and again gave me a lot of pitch time. And because Martin was involved with international setups, kind of underage international setups, he spent a lot of time going away every couple of months, like now to be international window. So he'd leave it to me to take sessions. So that was a great learning curve for me to be able to go in and take sessions and coach the first team. And so it just kind of built from there. Two of us built a good relationship there. Martin stepped away after about 2.5 years. So that brought us up to around 2016, I think. Yeah, 2016. And he asked me when he was going. I was really dynamic, because sometimes when there's a manager and a coach there is that feeling that the coach is after the manager's job, kind of. But we never had that, and it was great that Martin kind of suggested that I take over. So we had a conversation about it, and it was decided that I would take over. So I sat down with the club, and it was a kind of at that stage then. The AUL was really kind of, it was starting, there was protests going in about junior cup games nearly every second week. You're getting sick of it. And there was obviously teams leaving to go Leinster Senior as well. They were nearly leaving en masse every year. So it was around about the time as well that everyone was going Friday night. We had built the all-weather in Aiden's as well. And the following year we were coming out, and going Friday night in Aiden's. We had a young side. The Martin left kind of with about 3 games to go in Premier A, and I think I was left with, out of 2 teams, I think there was 16 players out of 2 teams. So in fairness to the lads, they doubled up. They played Saturday, they played Sunday to get us through it. And we got through it, and we started to build again. But the only reason, and not the only reason, but one of the things I did suggest to the club for us to do was to go Leinster Senior League and make a fresh start. To go into Leinster Senior League, Friday night football, it'll start to attract a few bodies coming in, because I do think we've gone stale there. So that was agreed. Plan to do that. And just the year after them, I started to manage them. Yeah, 2016 to 17. Yeah,
Long out slog, wasn't it? Many years were you in there with them?
went from there 2016 to 17. I left during COVID, so left 2020.
Step into the head coach.
So no, actually, I went. The plan was I stepped away. I just thought, look, I'm at the taking. Came into Major 1. Actually, we came into Major 1. Got 3 promotions in 4 years. Under Kevin Nugent, and a lot had gone on. Well, not a lot had gone on, but so a lot of pressure with it. I remember, you remember Paul Smith. Paul Smith had died.
Yeah.
And that was huge.
Gentleman.
Yeah, the void that had left, and how difficult it was at that time, because we had a lot of lads. Now, Paul would have been, if we related to maybe not the way Foxy used to open up the hall when we were younger. Paul used to do that for the lads around the area as well. And there was a lot of lads who would have done that, but playing senior football now, and he had a massive influence on their lives, massive. And that was tough. That was tough at that, because they were only 18, 19, 20 years of age at the time, and trying to, again, you feel the responsibility of, because you're overseeing all of this. You kind of feel the responsibility towards the players as well. So that kind of, it didn't take its toll, but took a lot out of me, and then you're going to trying to get promoted, you're trying to win cups, you're trying to, sign players, all the other bits and pieces that go with managing, and you're trying to coach as well. You're still active on the coaching. That's the one thing I'd like doing, is being a manager / coach as well. So it was around I think it was COVID 2020, I think was that kind of truncated season that we had. So we were on a long kind of sabbatical with it, and it was around the end of 2020 it was, and the League of Ireland had just finished, and they were starting a new season, and I decided, I just got my A licence, I think. I just got my A licence at the time, and decided, right, I'm going to give the League of Ireland a crack. So I chatted with the club, it was agreed that I'd come in with the under 15s League of Bowls / Kevin's League of Ireland team. So that was agreed. I hadn't even met the players because of COVID and everything like that. No sessions done or nothing. So the head coach role came up. Caffo left, he went to Shelbourne, and I was approached to sit down with the club about taking over as head coach. So done that, and so that's what I ended up doing for the next 4 years. So it was 2021 to now. That brings us up to now. Yeah,
very good. Yeah. So what's the plans for the future? Have you? I know you're saying, but to bring the club on into the League of Ireland, so by yourself. Well,
no, I wouldn't say bring it into League of Ireland, but certainly make it sustainable. Because I think there's a lot of clubs now, lads, that are around, that the amateur game is in so much. There's so many clubs there. There's such a precarious position that they're built on sand. Nearly some of these clubs that they have a period of 2, 3, 4 years, and then they just slide off or they fold. And the amateur game, you probably see it, whether it be Saturday football, Sunday football, first team football. That, if you don't look around corners, and you don't build for the future, and if you don't make plans to make it sustainable, and if it's only the short termism that you have, you're going to do well to last.
It's only with a few clubs recently, like the likes of Bowl County, and who else would have been, the likes of Oliver Bond and things like that, but all kind of being up. And
I think the Bond made a comeback, and I think I'm not saying they're in trouble now, but I think it's the same thing.
No, but from where they kind of got themselves that, and probably thought that it was going to be a quick turnaround to be successful and go here, and as you said, there was. I'm not saying that there wasn't a plan, but
and it's difficult. Don't get me wrong, it is difficult.
Surely there has to be a plan.
There's probably too many clubs around.
But if you're not matching the players' ambitions that you have in your club, they're going to go elsewhere. Unless the club itself is kicking down doors, obviously it has to win for the players to stay around.
You have to create the environment. You have to create it. Like, people stay at the environment is good if they're enjoying it, if they feel valued. Like, go back to that thing. You need to feel valued in it, and you need to be motivated to come back week on week. And there's people are in the game now for different reasons, and you have different motivations to come training. Some people are attracted by money. Some people are attracted by being together as a group. And if you look back, history will tell you that all the teams that have been successful have that togetherness, have that cohesion that you can't buy. You can't buy the kind of spirit that Sheriff would have had, the Ballymun would have had. the Wefter would have had.
Leicester's
Pomarnick, all those teams had a good dressing room and had that trust, had those relationships between the players, had each other's back going out on a Sunday.
Tolka had that as well, though, down here. Now they're from different areas and all, yeah.
100%. And it doesn't guarantee a success, but it's the best way to get it. And I think the way some clubs are going now, I just don't think it's sustainable what they're doing. You know, from a financial point of view, it's not sustainable. Like, you know, they're putting huge money into their first team, and they haven't got a schoolboy section. They don't have 2 or 3 teams. Put your money into that.
Start from the ground
and play the long game with it, and start from the ground up, and you know, build it from that. Then build your infrastructure and everything that goes with it. But now people just want this kind of instant gratification that you need to win now. We need to win now, and if we don't win now, and that doesn't work. It has a certain period, it has a certain shelf life, and then it'll
100%. Totally agree with that. Yeah.
Definitely. So it's fourth team for now.
Fourth team for now, yeah. As I said, now I'm still
overseeing
I'm still on the pitch most nights. Anyway, I'm still on the pitch. I'm still down the club every night. I'm you know, my phone, like, people still lean on me, people still bring me for advice, or lads doing a B licence, A licence, and helping with assignments and all that, assessments and everything that goes with that. And, you know, I'd like to think that I've built up good relationships with the coaches and the players. You know, every time I go into the club, now you can't get out for the want of people wanting to talk to you and just saying hello and how you're getting on, and players as well, you know, from under 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, you know, you do have lads coming over to you all the time and saying hello, which is a culture within the club. You know, you have to have that. You know, a kid can't go by a coach without saying hello, shaking his hand, making eye contact. All those little things are huge within it. You know,
very good.
You need to have that if you want to build a culture and make it sustainable. You need to have that, and it's just to the man.
This is things that I see, things like that. That's the first I've actually ever heard of anything like that. Stay within a football club. These are the things that the kids need to be taught in school.
Absolutely.
Do you know what
absolutely.
I mean? Like we've spoke about a few times with kids in school and the curriculum and how, like, they're shoving fucking pi equals square down your fucking throat, and the kids can't even make eye contact with you. You know what I mean? It's like it's such it's a life skill and so important. More important
now, and you know, and that's what, like, instant gratification. That's what people want now, but also they don't realise the value in a relationship. They don't realise the value in having a conversation.
How to build a relationship.
You said earlier on that there's no leaders on the pitches anymore, and it all comes down to obviously kids, what they've been taught, and I don't know if it's the phones in their hands or whatever, but it's the communication. Obviously, rather sit there on the phone beside on me on his phone, they're talking about the same thing instead of having to talk about football or whatever. Yeah. So the communication sort of things are gone. So that's why we don't have them leaders there.
Now we go away. Like, I've been lucky enough to be at some really good places, away with the younger teams as well. And one rule that we do have is no phones. And the difference in lads when there's no phone around,
that's brilliant.
In like, you take that for, like, you might give them for an hour because it's part of their life, so you don't want to take that away from them either. But
if it don't make it feel like a discipline or anything.
Absolutely, yeah. So take it away. That's agreed. With the parents, and if they need to contact you contact coach or you contact the manager, and that's agreed at the start before they go away. So you take the phones away, and just to see them mixing in around with other kids. Like, other kids could be in the hotel as well from other teams, and having the banter together, and even if it is just watching the game together. Remember, we were in a tournament last year, and the Champions League final was on the same weekend, and we had our lads there, and there was Shelbourne lads there as well. Were there at the same time. There's a couple of them lads came out, they were mixing together, and they're mixing from teams from Australia and Norway, and PSV were there, and you know, just to see them mixing together.
Yeah.
No, and there wasn't a phone between them, and they're just kids being kids. You know, it was great. So that's what football can give you as well, is that other side of it. And that's what's important when you're at the likes of it. Kevin's is that they do learn those life skills, and it's very easily overlooked going into another club. When you do go in, like, all the kids have to wear shin guards, have to wear full kits, training. You know, trying to do away with the grip socks, all those little things, like, you know, that we might spell out at the start of the season to the managers. These are the standards you have to go by. You have to make those standards, and you have to kind of instill those standards throughout the season. And when you do it, and then shaking hands is obviously a big one within it as well. And shaking hands, coach on coach, shaking hands every time you see him, shaking the hands, you know. And it's just a sign of respect, isn't it? It's just a sign of respect. And
Brilliant.
asking the 13-year-old, how's your day going, or how have you been, and just to try and drag a conversation out.
Try to pull something out of it.
The relationship going, very good.
Yeah, deadly.
Well, yeah, and then the trips are brilliant. Like, I've been lucky enough to be to a lot of good places, you know. And it's great for these little kids to have these experiences as well. And you know, whether it be Celtic, been to Celtic, Liverpool, Man United, Brighton. We actually 2 years ago we brought our under-9s to Monaco. Like, what an experience!
Very good.
Like 9-year-olds looking at going down Monte Carlo, you know, looking at the casino and the cars going by, and it's just an eye opener. Even for the parents, it was like, wow. So and then obviously Spain and you know, Holland and all the different Italy, and so trying to give these kids the best life experience that they can, because it goes really quickly. And one thing we tell parents when they come in or under 8s is that enjoy it, because a lot of parents don't enjoy it. And enjoy their kids when they're 8, 9, 10 years of age. What hope have you got when they do get to the nitty gritty of 15 or 16-year-olds? But now it's starting a little bit younger now, unfortunately. But it's
For rewarding though, as you said.
Very rewarding. Very rewarding. Very rewarding on the pitch when you see kids asking for 5 minutes more. Next goal winner. Next goal, and that's all you want. But then you know you've hit the nail on the head there. You know
they have the buzz of it.
Yeah, they have, and they're so kind of inquisitive, and they're so impressionable that wherever you got to be careful what you say to them, because you would have more weight sometimes than the parent would as a coach. And that's the thing that coaches tend to forget, that what you say, they listen to you more sometimes than they would their own parents.
Yeah,
they do, and because you're one that's providing
what they love,
the happiness,
the progression of what they love,
giving them what they want, kind of, and they would hang on to every word you say. So you have to be careful what you say.
Take note, Nelson.
You will indeed. Do the handbook right now.
Good, Steve. That's brilliant. Listen, we'll
get the questions out.
We'll go into a few questions.
Yeah. Don't know what question I'm going to ask, but go on.
Any regrets in football?
No. And it'd be probably easy for me to say with the injuries and the little bit of luck that we had. It didn't win, maybe that, but I think all these experiences kind of make you what you are, don't they? It's the old saying. You can't. I don't think you can have regrets. If you get regrets, you get kind of narky, don't you? Yeah, cranky. You get a little bit. But no, I don't think there's any point in having regrets. It is what it is.
I agree with that as well. Yeah, so you can't change it now. So
no.
Best player you played with?
There's a few. There's certainly a few. I didn't have a massive pool of players, because with Kevin's and that, it was not as if like you, Barrett, I went with club to club. No, but I didn't have a massive pool of players, but like you have to. Could I pick one? Probably not. No.
We give you three.
Obviously, Barber comes into the equation there. And the Wilkins, as I said, what a player.
How the player was he, Steve?
Proper left back. Is a left back, a proper leader, and he would have had, at the time, he would have been junior international. I don't know if he was captain or not, but he was the highest junior international cap player when I know he's had Jerry Smith on, hadn't you? When Jerry Smith was kind of starting out, he would have been there with him. And at the time, I think he was the most cap player at the time, when the caps were very sporadic given out. Didn't have many caps given out. But him, definitely. And
Didn't something happen when you were with Holge and you got called into one of the internationals games by Jerry Smith, and right before you were about to go out, and they found out you played with UCD? Yeah, so I was having a good year. That was after I broke my leg. The year after I broke my leg, I came back and was playing well. And I was called into this. There was a training camp. Not a training camp, but they trained every Saturday. I think it was every Saturday. Yeah, every Saturday morning. Yeah, well, they trained, and I'd done it for 7, 8, 9 weeks, week on week.
You're getting ready. I don't know whether it's the quadrangular or the regions they were getting prepared for, but done everything. Fitness tests, friendly games. Again, none recognised kind of caps. But yeah, it was because then I think it was less than a week to go before. I think the squad was being announced, and I got a call off Jay, and he says, "Steve, do you know, I just got a phone call then, I'm sick, I have to tell you this, but you can't play." He says, "You would have been in the squad, but you can't play." And I said, "Oh," I knew straight away, it must be because I had this conversation when I was with Kevin's that I couldn't get a junior cap, but I thought I don't know whether it was a different rule or, whether it was a 10-year kind of thing.
Wasn't there a 10-year thing?
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. Something like that I thought I had surpassed,
yes,
and that which made me eligible for it, but obviously not. So yeah, I was ready to go and just ready for the call. I thought that was the call, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. So yeah, that's because I played,
isn't it?
Because I played. No, yeah, of course, it's disappointing. But do you know what? Again, you're talking about, you could rationalise these things as well, and I'm a big thing in that. And again, going back to the sports psych, maybe that you're trying to rationalise these things, because if you thought about it too much, you'd go off your head, and you have to kind of put. I think it was 33, 34 years of age. They're still getting recognised, one of the best players in the country at that level.
Come back from injury as well.
Come back from injury,
Yeah, so
all
that-
those
that
sorts.
alone-
That alone, I was really happy to be there.
That alone was probably your cap,
Yeah. Well, possibly, but it would look. Don't get me wrong, I would have loved to go, but you do have to kind of rationalise it a bit as well. That it's not the end of the world. You would have loved to go, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of nobody died here. It's a game of football, and that's why I try and tell lads now that, serious as we take it and as serious as we love it, and the amount of sleep we lose over it, at the end of the day, it is only a game. Don't be fretting too much over it, because going back to what a couple of years ago there, when as I was talking about, you feel that responsibility of the club on you getting results, and when you don't get those results, it was a nightmare. Now I'm talking about getting pressurised and feeling anxiety and stressed and all that. Like, but the club lost 3 All-Ireland finals in 2 days. Lost another 12s final on the Saturday down in Limerick. Came back up on the Sunday at the AUL and lost 2 cup finals in a row, 2 All-Ireland finals. And I remember thinking, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, you're not cut out for this. You're not up to the level. Telling myself it. Like, I was sitting, I remember, never forget, I was sitting on the dugout in the AUL. No one couldn't hear me. And I was just sitting there saying, you need to think of something else to do here, because you're not cut out for this. You're not up to it. And that was a huge kind of seminal moment, of a light bulb moment, that you're waking up the next day and you say to yourself, right, you have to go again here.
Yeah.
You have to build yourself up and you have to go again, no matter how disappointing it is. And it is disappointing, but the good thing about football is you always have another chance to put it right. And you work hard. I'm a great believer if you work hard enough at anything, you'll get your just rewards. How then just rewards, how they look, might be a little bit different to some, but at the end of the day, I do think you will always get your rewards if you keep plugging away at it.
And look, there's so many lows. Like, there's probably a lot more lows than boys with winning things, because winning things is short.
Yeah.
Is short time than the likes of things like that would how am I kind of trying to explain it? That, look, it's winning things is just so short time.
Yeah.
Like, and when you're in how many teams did you say is in?
Those 43.
43 teams. Like,
now I wouldn't be active, because you'd obviously only have top teams, and the remit was to be competitive with the top level, with the top age group, with the top team in the age groups.
12 finals in the space of if you
over the year, I think we got to over the 4. I think we got to nearly 40 cup finals over the 4 years.
Yeah,
that I was there, like nearly averaging 10 a year, nearly. Whether that be DDSL, whether that be FEI trophy, SFEI trophy, SFEI cups, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's kind of what you kind of figure out and learn is that you need to be competitive, and Kevin's as a club need to be competitive at the latter stages of cups. You need to be in the run for the league, and you need to be there if you want to retain the best players and attract the best players. That's whatever about development and everything like that. If you want the best players in your building, win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or be competitive. And that's, we've probably gone away from that a little bit. But that's the strength of it was always the strength of Irish football, that competitiveness in it. Maybe that's gone out of it a little bit now. It's coming back. I think it will come back. But yeah, we've probably taken our eye off the ball from that point of view. But yeah, look, follow the process and everything else will happen after that. I think I'm a believer in that as well.
We go to the next one there. Best manager.
Again, I wouldn't have too many. Probably Dermot Wilkins. Yeah. And Paul Martin came in with him with the Oscar trainer. It wasn't a great shake when he came in.
Yeah, Paul and Dermot as well.
You would have had him with the youths, was it?
No,
you would have. Was he? Yeah. It was probably a couple of years after.
Probably a year or two after youths too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he came in. He kind of created that kind of team environment, that club environment. We're in it. Got us in once a week.
Did he step away from Kevin's to go into that
Yeah,
AOL role?
yeah. No,
That's a straight thing. We've often spoke about it. Though, isn't it? Somebody to be actually away from a club.
He didn't go straight in. I think he had a bit of time out. He had a year out or something. It would have been about that. I think, could be wrong there, but as far as I know, it was about a year out, and then he was offered that role to go in. But yeah, it was just, he brought that little bit of professionalism to it. We flew down to Cork to play a game.
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
We played that game.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with Dick Redmond in the airport when everyone points.
Yeah.
It's two women over there. He's like, come here, yous. Old Dick, well, I love that.
Yeah. So just little things like that got us kitted out, jumpers, kind of polo shorts, trousers, all that sort of stuff.
You weren't there when you flew to Donegal, though, as well?
No,
you weren't that.
No.
That was us. The year later, yeah, because I wasn't that year. Because I remember playing with you with the AOL squad.
Did you? Yeah.
You can't remember me now, thanks very much.
No, that was when we won it. It was in 2006. Another quality team, but because what he'd done before, and you're talking about the process, our hardest part was the training that we had. The easy, it wasn't easy, don't get me wrong, but
the games were easy to train.
We won that at a canter.
Yeah.
We won that at a canter. Our toughest game was, I think we played the Tipperary League here when Chalky Walsh was and he'd be training with us. He used to live in Dublin, work in Dublin, and train with Kevin's. He used to go down to Michael's every week and play. But that was probably the best team that we came up against, beat them in the AOL, and I think we won the final 4-5-6 or something. But that was only because of that kind of that professionalism and building a team. You just got a squad of players, didn't change, didn't kind of deviate from what you had, didn't kind of bring players in
and out,
or nothing like that. You just got with what you trusted, got with what you knew, and went with it. Yeah, it was good.
Your best club?
Kevin's.
I was waiting for the span in the walks there.
No, obviously I've a soft spot for Finnish. It'll always be Wefta to me, lads. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, look, myself, we're the same. You've got the same Wefta. It was a cute time.
I said it before. It was nearly before a tip off. One of the times with English United, and almost said it like, "Come on, Wef." Yeah.
You talk like me, way.
And it's great to see them doing so well. And now you two boys are there with them as well, and what the seniors are doing now, and hopefully there's teams coming up through there that we have to filter in there every couple of years.
That's the plan anyway. That's the plan in action.
Yeah.
Best friend in football.
No friends of football.
Good show.
No friends of football.
I don't think we've had that. So yeah,
the acquaintance. Yeah. Brilliant.
Now, do you know what? It's you meet a hell of a lot of people, and I've just realised, and again, this role that I've been in has taught me no amount of workshops, courses, degrees, books, podcasts, anything could give me the experience and the learnings that I've either good, bad, or indifferent over the past few years. And what I've realised is that while you're really, really close to people while you're in a role, but that role can end like that, and that's football. And then
the closeness goes, then, isn't it?
Yeah. Now I've just found that people are a little bit different to me now when they've stepped away for whatever reason, whether they've changed and they have a different perspective on what they're looking at, or a different perception. There's a different perception out there than what the reality is, and there's a big difference with that. There's a big difference between perception and reality when people are talking about clubs. Like, people have a perception what Finnish United are like, people have a perception what Kevin's like, and it's completely different to the reality of what goes on.
You don't know till you're on the inside, you know. Once you're in the inside, that's it.
I'll be very, that's what I've learned. You know, you can't you want to be careful what you say about people. You want to be
Yeah.
careful what you say about different clubs because you don't know what's going on the inside there. The same way
Very good, yeah.
they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well put. The hardest player you played against?
For pinching you. Never forget that. I think you were with O'Devney. Might have been with O'Devney, I think. Yeah, you were out.
That was that Chandler fucking.
And I didn't know you. I don't even knew you.
Passing the
I
book.
wouldn't have even known you at the time. And fucking hell, it was you were Mark, you're playing right back. I was playing wide left. And the ball was over there. And you were a wind-up merchant. You're like, we got used to that anyway. But he fucking pinched me on the side there. I was fuck off. It was just like a reaction. You need to cinch your face, like, you know. That's all he done, was just to wind you up.
It's Joey Barton at the amateur game.
Yeah.
You should get your own podcast going on.
Yeah. Pinching, nipple pinching and back pinching.
Come on.
But yeah, Jesus Christ, that's a good one. Brian Mooney was really good. Remember Brian off Bangor? He was in Kevin's, he's gone to Rovers now, but he was in Kevin's last year. He was tough to play against, he was tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But, you're probably going back to, and there's probably a reason I'd never forget him, is Barry Flynn. Barry was quality, absolutely. And he was a centre midfielder, I would have been wide left. But he was really good.
Ran at games.
Yeah. And obviously you had the likes of Mark Kramer and James Lee and I would have played against Nolly Murray and stuff like that, but if I wasn't playing with him, and yeah, it was. But from a direct kind of opponent, I'm not sure, lads, to tell you. Probably Brian, and that's probably just recency bias. I can't think back for 30 years.
You go favourite memory.
Davy Kane, I'll go back there. Davy Kane was probably the best. He was a fucking nightmare.
Player.
Yeah. I see him now. I think he has a relation in the club as well. That I would see him down the club there last week, and a lot of time for Davy. What a gentleman.
That he is one of the good ones, yeah.
Yeah. Or I just remember the time we were playing the San Siro, and it was a good Kevin's team. We had that time that Phil Long was playing centre back, and Phil was quality as well. Put him up there with the likes of Barry and Junior International Player of the Year he got on stage, and really, really good captain. He might have been captain at the time. But I remember the ball came out, and I remember the San Siro was just wide open. There was horses on that side, but the ball was pumped out. I don't know who, the keeper kicked it out, and he ran for it. He ran for it towards the sideline, and it was going out, but he caught it. Now, he'd done a Cruyff turn, that, Davy's always recognised for kind of holding up the play, scoring goals now, but his touch on this occasion was unreal. That came to him, and he couldn't have done a Cruyff turn, but took it out of the sky, brought it back through his legs, and Phil ran. He was gone off the pitch. He ran into a horse. He ran. But Davy just fucking turned and went, and it was just to look at Phil. I was just saying, my God, what a touch. What a touch. And I was on the pitch, like. Yeah. Just little things like that, little moments like that you remember, was quality.
Favourite memory?
I'm going to say again, probably recency bias, but when I was managing Kevin's, we won the Kevin Nugent, and I know it's only the Kevin Nugent, but it was in 2019 when Paul had died, and the year that we had, we won that obviously around May. Paul had died February, January, and that was
still very close, and
that was tough,
still very raw. Yeah,
all the lads wore t-shirts towards.
I remember
walking out, and that was tough. And I actually dropped my captain that day. It was just a decision I had to make. I made it, and it was kind of had that in the back of my mind going, out, this doesn't work now. All these lads would be fucking devastated, and I have my captain coming to me, and went 1-0 down. Won the game 2-1, but it was more relief than happiness. It was just such a relief to get the lads over the line. Got the captain on the pitch as well, which was always what I wanted to do as well. But from that, it was just a huge relief to be able to give something back. I think that the club was 60 years anniversary the day after we had got promotion. 3 days after that again in the midweek game. So just that period of time was
great for the club, great for everyone. Yeah,
it was just
it needed to happen.
It needed to happen. That was that. Did that bring us into 1A? No, it didn't. That brought us into 1B. Brought us into intermediate football. So that year. But that cup final, because we were losing, and it was just a tender playing Larkview. John McGlew actually was managing Larkview at the time. Good side. Well, yeah, we got over the line, and anyway, with it was tough. And yeah, it was just, I remember the final whistle going, I just broke down. It was just like, it was just the whole
An emotional
vented up, and Ken Dunhill, the director of football, came over and says, right, you've done it, get yourself together, get on with it. And that was it. That's Ken all over, you know.
That's football, isn't it?
And that's football, yeah. He said, well done. But he knew, because he would have been really close to Paul as well. And he knew the importance of just what it meant. Now, as I said, it wasn't a huge cup, but it was just the significance of it and what it symbolised really for the section and what the section had gone through, making the jump to Leinster Senior, and Paul was by my side nearly through that as well. And as he was all the way up when I was playing, even, you know, as physio. And yeah, so when he was gone, he's left obviously a huge void out of the club that'll probably never be filled. And even we had coaches, managers were reluctant to step foot in the club, because Paul would have been always the first person that you would recognise that you would be met by going into the club if you're a new person coming.
His face was always there, yeah.
Always there. And to have that suddenly just taken away from everyone was just, it was hard. And yeah, look, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's in a happier place now, thank God.
Yeah. Any players that didn't fulfil their potential?
Loads of them, isn't there?
All over the place, yeah.
Give us a few.
Yeah. See, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, you know, there's a reason you didn't fill that potential. You know, there's a reason they didn't kick on.
You can't give them the credit.
You know, because he didn't get the head down, didn't work hard enough. Like, working hard is a skill. Of
course.
It's like a technical thing, it's like anything else. But the hardest thing in football to do is to work hard. It's hard for yourself to get yourself motivated to get up and do it 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and do the extra bits that you need to do.
Look, you with your recovery, swim pool, but at night time, gym, after
6 in the morning job, you know, before you go to bed. Yeah, there's loads of lads. Jeez. Gavin Quinn, do you know what? Gavin Quinn was quality.
Yeah.
But nut job now, but like his dad's in the club, he's a manager in the club, and haven't
seen Joe, yeah.
Good
man, he was Joe and Jane.
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah.
Big Kevin's family.
Yeah. But I haven't seen Gav. I think Gav lives in Bray now.
He's playing for
Temple Oak.
Temple Oak 25.
He played against the English United last week, I think.
Yeah. He was one now that, you know, you're looking at. He would bring, because obviously I played with my senior in Kevin's as well.
Endless ability he had.
Unbelievable ability. And he could just do it. He's one of these folks that could just do it. Yeah, and he could win a game for you, or he could lose a game for you.
He
could get sent off. Remember the time
he was a hothead.
He didn't start the game, and Frank Hugh Jay dropped him one day, and he got into his car and tore off. I thought he was going to knock someone down because
he sped out of the car park. I was there.
Gone.
I remember that.
Gone, yeah.
During the warm up.
I
remember it.
Yeah, see.
We were warming up and he flew out of the car park, and I had to stop at the gate because the gate was closed. Someone had to open the gate.
Sometimes like a quick, but he's going through.
Well, here's one definitely what a talent he was, you know. And yeah, there's a few of them there, all right, yeah. Who else would have been? Again, you're trying to think back years, and loads will come when we finish this.
It usually happens, yeah. Best 11.
Jeez. I'd probably go with Stan and goal. No, Morgan was there as well. Morgan was absolute quality, but just for the longevity, and I still see Stan now. Stan has a few lads in the club that, you know, if I don't pick him, he'd probably give out to me as well. No, but he was, look, just for longevity, and to do that, that's where you do get the most respect in amateur football, is that if you can do it
for so long.
Yeah, he did. He wasn't just longevity. He was like,
he's still playing.
Yeah,
is he still playing? Yeah. He's still playing with Raheny 45s. Yeah,
brilliant.
Oh my God!
And he's playing junior Gaelic with Boy Hall Colin Kill.
And he was smashing goalkeeper.
He must be mid 50s at least.
Yeah, he's around years.
Mid to late 50s, I'd say. Yeah.
Still in great one, yeah.
Still in great nick.
Wouldn't say he was always in great nick now. Don't know what's changed in his 50s. Oh,
yes. But yeah, so the back then, I'm gonna have to stick Phil. I have to stick Anton Wilkins in, and I'm gonna put Nolly Murray as centre of that. But no, go to the back three. I'm trying to squeeze players in as well. I had a little think about this. I had to put Johnny Carroll in on the right side. You know Johnny, don't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Play against the Johnny a lot.
Again, Johnny was with the seniors as well. So, yeah, Johnny was great. Junior international. But just talking about lads who love the game.
You caps as well, Johnny.
Johnny had, yeah. I'm not sure how many, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Jerry Smith took a shine into him, yeah. It was harder to get out that squad than it was to get away. But no, Johnny was great. Just looked after himself. Still in great nick now. Looked after, loved the game. Great attitude towards it. Proper leader on the pitch. So yeah, I'd probably put Marzi on the other side. I'd have to put. Yeah, I have to put him in.
Yeah,
I have to get him in because
you could play it anywhere though.
Anywhere, and that's the good thing about him. He didn't, especially with that good side that we had. You know, there's so many good midfielders there, and there was a time and there was a stint he would have done out on the left when he was left back. Next day he could be wide right, he could be striker, he could be back in the midfield, like, you know. But if you're gonna go into the trenches with someone, you want Margie beside you, you know. He's just a proper leader. It really goes captain of that team for a reason.
Good character as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So Barbara in the middle. I don't think he's probably been in every team that he's had.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to stop getting people from thinking that.
Now you'd have to put him in. I'm gonna have to put Crockett in as well because I see the little fucker around a lot now. I heard he put me in his, so he let me know that one.
He must have known you were doing this.
Yeah. So Crockett, you have Barber, Marzi on the left, Johnny on the right. I'm gonna go with three up top. I'm gonna go with Gar Burdock, Dean Kelly, and Davy Kane.
Strong.
That's some team.
That's strong, isn't it?
Three boys, yeah. Just get the ball up to them.
Yeah.
Just get the ball up to them.
Very good.
You can put yourself in.
No.
Nah, you
can't put yourself in.
Nelson put
Coach, manager.
Yeah. Assistant man.
Head coach.
Yeah.
Steve, that was brilliant.
Cheers, Steve.
No problem at all, lads.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Thanks a million. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant that was, yeah.